Now we're going to be talking about the information paper. This is a 3-page chance to tell about your technology's capabilities and value, adding some graphics and some more detail that you really couldn't fit in on the quad chart. The information paper is based on the flow of your completed quad chart. The draft that we're going to send you at least is, and it's got more opportunity to put some details in it. I'll show you what to expect when you get that draft in just a little while. We're going to compare it to a fictitious quad chart. But first, let's talk about some general instructions. This is going to be a 3-page document maximum. If it's over 3 pages, if we are the ones evaluating here at Encountering Innovation, we'll actually reject it and send it back. The tech scouts want it to be short. I've seen people send in 10-page information papers and say, hey, is this good enough? And I was like, no, it's not. Because the tech scouts require that. They will get annoyed with us and with the company if they send that in when they know what they were told. With page numbers at the bottom and centered. There's a number of different formatting settings that are already in the paper, and we just ask you to just leave them alone. Then it will be formatted similar to all the other papers and what the tech scouts are expecting. I know you may find it a little awkward, but please do that, and don't be shrinking the fonts down to try and cram more and more information in. Just stay within the guidelines you have. One of the things that the tech scouts say all the time to us is we want it in 8th grade English. Yes, 8th grade English. The reason why is because they may not be experts on what you're talking about. They probably aren't. They're smart people. They've been sitting sometimes for several days in meetings, and you don't want to make them have to fight for gathering the information that they need to know what to do with this. Just make it easy. Explain it in good, simple English. Use that in your information paper, because the person that they're sending it on to will probably not be an expert, and they are being asked to look at what they're getting sent in addition to their daily jobs. So you just want to make it easy. If there's intellectual property, it should be marked on both the paper's headers and footers. This is per the tech scouts requests. That will already be included on the draft with your company name in the header and footer. So just assume that. Don't put anything classified into whatever you submit, because you never know where it could end up. So obviously you don't want classified material in there. And another point, this is kind of a simple point, but don't use hyperlinks, because most of the people in the government are working with email accounts that have hyperlinks stripped out of them. So what you'll end up with is missing hyperlinks. So what you would do instead was copy the hyperlink, put it in text, maybe put it in parentheses or something. You can even color it, but don't let it be an actual hyperlink. Just you can make a comment beside it, copy this hyperlink, and something like that. The information paper, you can have diagrams in it, pictures as needed to support what you're trying to get across. In fact, we really encourage it. That's what makes it stand out. Your technology stand out from other people's. And who wants to just look at a whole bunch of technologies that are all just in written form? And then at the bottom, you're going to find 2 signature lines for communication with the tech scouts. One of them is the single point of contact. That's the person that's responsible to gather information and communicate it with the tech scouts. And the other one is the authorized point of contact, as we've talked about before. That's the company authorization person. And we really want to do that. In many cases, in small businesses, it's the same person. You may be the only person in your company. That's perfectly fine. But don't just delete one side and say, hey, I'm the same person, so I just threw that other line off. Please go ahead and sign it twice if that's what you need. And as you make socialization connections, as a Tech Scout passes your information on to somebody else, that may change. They may want to talk to a technical lead, or they might want to talk to somebody in accounting or other things and learn more about your company. That's fine, but for now, at least, with the Tech Scouts, start out with a single point of contact. And then again, just remember, this is a technology paper. This is not a sales paper. So you talk about the great things about your product, but you don't need to put in all kinds of marketing information. You can even put, you know, right now we're anticipating we're going to be at a price point of something like this for, you know, hundreds of sales or something like that. That's fine. But remember, they don't have check writing abilities. They may be sending it to somebody that eventually will, but they're going to be contacting you for more information before they just get out their checkbook. So make it more informational and less arm twisting. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the quad chart itself, which you should already have filled out, but I'll start out with a fictitious company here. And the information on here is kind of silly. Don't need to worry about that. I wanted to show you how it maps, because that's going to be important to you. So we'll get this company, and we have this basic information about the company. So it starts out here, the different quadrant 1 in the top left, quadrant 2 is how I describe them, is in the bottom left, and then 3 top right, and quadrant 4 bottom right. So we're going to take this information now and we're going to bring it over into the information paper draft. And what we're going to send you is actually a draft based on your original application. So remember, this is not going to be the same information that you would want to have in it when you actually start editing. So you're going to take your quad chart and then cut and paste the values that you have now in your final version and bring them across. So let's take a look at that. And over here on the right-hand side, in parentheses in bold red, I'm actually telling you where this information comes from. So the bluff statement, which we had you work on the quad chart, and the bluff statement, that bluff statement now goes word for word into this information paper. And you're going to use it again in a point of contact document we will talk about in a future video. So we start out putting the bluff statement in, and then down here, this technology category, if the conference that we're supporting that you're involved in actually will use that category, that would be in quadrant 3 on the top right. You can compare with the documents that we're going to supply with this. You'll be able to look at this and the quad chart to compare. Technology readiness level comes from the top of, it's actually quadrant 4, in the bottom right. It actually comes from the quadrant 4, bottom right. And if you want to stick a graphic in here, this is a great place for a graphic right up high. We'd ask you just go ahead and put the bluff in those different categories right at the very beginning, and then go ahead and put more information in, and especially something that would be very descriptive. Now we're going to go back to, just a second here. Now we're going to go on to a technology explanation and status. So you're going to see that first sentence or two that came off the quadrant 1, that is going to be what's going to be placed in this section. And by the way, I'm telling you all this, this will start you out with a good draft. Feel free to take it away from here. We'd ask that you would continue to keep the headings that are there, because the Tech Scouts really like that consistency so they can find things really fast. They know what to expect and where to expect it. But within there, feel free to be creative. And you've already decided in your quad chart what you think is most important. Now you want to talk about what's most important, but you don't have to leave it. You can bullet list it if you want, but I would really encourage you to take the chance to put it in paragraph form, be a little more descriptive, a little more creative with it, and explain it better. Don't feel like you have to stick to exactly the way this is laid out here just in bullets. Just be creative within the sections. So we're down here at innovation capabilities. That's the bullet point list that's at the end of quadrant 1. This is basically what the technology will do in general, and what makes it unique, what makes it stand out. Then we're going to go on down to the next section, which is demonstrated results. This section is actually going to be from quadrant 2 underneath that. This is the section where we talk about what's already been demonstrated, what's already been done, and a little bit about the company if you want to add that. So we're going to bring that in here. Next section is the innovation and capabilities. This is actually, wait a minute, I missed a section here. The next section is explanation of top technology and readiness level. This is going to be that sentence that's underneath the TRL in quadrant 4. That's what you would want to bring across here to start the second version of your draft based off of our first one. Then the scaling ability and section, bring that information across, and then time to market with and without financial assistance. So this will give you an opportunity to come very close to the key points that you want to make in your paper, and then start out from that point and be creative from there. And then, of course, at the very bottom of the paper, you'll see the single POC for all communications, and then the company authorization POC. So this is the 2 signatures you need here. And like I say, they may be the same person. They may not be the same person. But the person that signs on the left is the person that we want to be the single point of contact. And then you sign this, and you can just PDF this file and send it back. Where that's normally what the tech scouts want, except for the point of contact document. That should be a Word document, because they may be cutting and pasting some of the contacts that you put in there in order to refer to them and send things to them. So go ahead and print this and sign it, and then PDF it and send it back. Got it?